annuity problems with the TVM solver. So Joe invests $200,000 into an annuity, paying 5% per annum compounding monthly. Now remember that with an annuity, we're normally drawing down on the principal. That means we're taking out more every month than we get with interest. Joe wants monthly payments for 10 years, so paying this down over 10 years, but also getting the interest. How much will he get each month? So we put in what we know. TVM solver, obviously your working is writing this out and putting out down what you're doing, which I notice some of us aren't doing. Write this down for every question, please. So we're doing monthly payments, so PY and CY are 12 for 10 years, so N is 12 times 10, which is 120. We have an interest rate of 5% per annum. Remember, we're back on TVM solver, so we don't have to change this to monthly. It does it for us. And we want to know how much he'll get each month. So that means we're solving for the payments. Now, as always, we've got to look at what's positive and what's negative. Remember, you're looking at where the money's going. If you have the use of the money, if you currently have the benefit of the money, that's positive. If you don't have the benefit of the money, if the money's gone elsewhere from you, that's negative. So for an annuity, your principal is negative because you've handed that money to someone else. So just a little note in there if you want it. So the principal's negative. The future value, of course, we want to pay it down to 0 or withdraw down to 0. So set our future value. And that's everything in. We can solve. Sorry about all the extra numbers in there. So it's monthly. Check that 12 times 10 we got correct. We might as well do the maths on the calculator. Negative present value. We're solving for payments and we want future value to be 0. Alpha solve. So the payments will come up positive because the payments are to you from the bank. So 2121.31, etc. So you'd give your answer. So that's not bad. For 10 years, he's getting $2,121.31 per month. Now, maybe that's not enough. You know, you can imagine Joe investing this to get him through the next 10 years, and he needs more than that per month. He might need a minimum of $3,000 per month. So we can look at, okay, if I want this minimum payment, how long will the annuity last? Put things in. How long will it last means you're going to be solving for N. It's monthly still, so PY and CY are 12. It's still getting paid down to 0. We still have $200,000 to start with, which is going in negative because I'm getting rid of that money towards the bank. Interest rate still 5%. And my payments, now the payment goes in as positive on an annuity because while the negative present value is negative because I've handed that money to the bank, the payments are coming to me, or in this case, to Joe. And so that's a good thing. I like it when money comes to me. That's positive. So we change what we need to change our payments to 3,000, change our N back to 0, highlight it, and alpha solve. So we go to the nearest month, 78.2. Obviously, that's not very much of a month. The last payment will be a little bit more, but 78 months. Now, they haven't asked me what time frame I'd like it in, but honestly, 78 months is a bit of a silly value to give. I'd probably hop out of my TVM solver and do 78 divided by 12, 6.5 years. And you'd give it as years and months. Next question. What interest rate, correct to one decimal place, would allow Joe to withdraw $2,500 a month over 10 years? So you can see that Joe's really looking at his options here. If he wants it to last for 10 years at this interest rate, how much will he get? Yeah, but he wants a bit more. How long will that last? 6 years and 6 months. Not really good enough. All right, can he negotiate and find somewhere with a better interest rate and get, a compromise, $2,500 per month? So it makes sense when you're looking at financial options to see what your different possibilities are. So, I don't know why I didn't put this in before, but I'll put it in now. All right, so what interest rate is our question? So that means I'm solving for the interest rate. It's still monthly, so PY and CY are 12, and it's 10 years, so N is 12 times 10, which is 120. We still have 200,000 as a present value. We still want to pay down to 0, and our payments, remember positive because it comes to me, 2,500. So we'll hop back into our apps and clear a few things. PY and CY are 12, N was 120, solving for the interest rate, negative 200,000. Everything's incorrectly, and we solve. Copy out a few decimal places, and then give our answer to one decimal place as requested. So it's really about knowing how to use your TVM solver, feeling comfortable with the use of the negatives, with what each part of the situation corresponds to here, and being prepared to write down the TVM display every time.